Hey guys, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today I'll be discussing how to increase your testosterone levels with D-aspartic acid. And I'll discuss real research and reveal the truth about it and how to use it best. Now, if you're a subscriber to my blog or my YouTube channel, you know I get a lot of questions about improving hormones, especially testosterone. This is because testosterone is the king of all hormones for us guys. It helps increase muscle mass and strength. It decreases fat, especially the belly fat. It improves your libido and erection strength. It enhances your mood and happiness and improves cognition and memory and on and on. And this is also true for women. They just produce much lower levels. And since there is a decline in testosterone levels for men, even starting as early as age 25 and so forth, especially in modern days, guys are looking for anything to help increase their testosterone levels naturally. And of course, the truth is, I also want these benefits, and that's why over 20 years ago, I formulated one of the most potent and clinically tested testosterone boosters and hormone optimizing solutions on the market called Alpha Viral, which has a 20-year proven track record. However, today I want to talk about D-aspartic acid because I've gotten a lot of questions about it. And basically, does it work for boosting testosterone levels? And why didn't I include it in Alpha Viral? And so today I'll quickly discuss what it is, the results in men who exercise and those who don't, including my own personal experience with it, the correct dose, and actually how to make it work better and improve results. So first, a little bit of a background. Almost every amino acid can occur in two different forms. For example, aspartic acid can be found as L-aspartic acid, also as D-aspartic acid. The forms have the same chemical formula, but the molecular structures are basically mirror images of each other. Now, L-aspartic acid is produced in nature, including your body, and it's used for building proteins. However, D-aspartic acid isn't used to build proteins. Instead, it plays a role in making and releasing hormones in the body. And this includes the increase in testosterone production and the release in the testicles, and thus why many companies sell D-aspartic acid as a testosterone booster. So far, so good. Let's talk about my own personal experience. Now, when I found out about D-aspartic acid, years ago, when it was starting to get really popular, I decided to give it a try, right? Now, even though I'm a doctor, I'm still like everyone else, right? A new supplement comes out, I want to give it a try and experiment a lot with it. And when it first came out, it was obviously fairly expensive, a lot more expensive than it is now. And I started off with just 1 gram for the first week. I started off lower, and then 3 grams every day for a week, and then eventually 6 grams every day for a week. And these were basically, again, daily doses. And I think at the higher dose, around the 6 grams, I started to feel an increase in my sex drive. But it wasn't by much, but I still did notice it. And to me, a higher sex drive and better erections is a quick test to see if the product is working at boosting my testosterone levels. But after about a week or two, I again kind of felt nothing and my libido went back down. Basically around the 2-week mark, I felt the opposite happening. Like basically the product stopped working. And then I took a break and gave it a try a few months later, and again, similar results. But however, in all honesty, I never did a hormone test to see if it worked at increasing my testosterone levels or not. I just kind of did it by feel. Okay, so let's talk about the clinical studies with D-aspartic acid. Unfortunately, it's all over the place with mixed results. For example, in one 12-day study, 20 out of 23 men, almost everyone, saw an increase in testosterone by 24%, which is good. But then the study didn't give the dose used, and it was with men who don't exercise, and it didn't give age either. So for me, this was a poorly run study. In another study that lasted 90 days, basically 3 months, with men aged 37 to 43 who had subfertility and low sperm production, the D-aspartic group experienced over a 30% increase in testosterone, which is good. But keep in mind, this is not with guys who exercise and have normal fertility, all right? This is guys who had low fertility and didn't exercise. In fact, in one study, found no increase in testosterone in men who performed weight training and took D-aspartic acid for 28 days. What's more, another study found 2 weeks of taking high-dose supplement at 6 grams per day actually decreased testosterone in young men who weight trained. So the summary as far as the testosterone part, Based on the studies, D-aspartic acid may increase testosterone levels in inactive men, people who don't exercise. However, it has not been shown to boost testosterone in men who weight train. Now, speaking of weight training, one assumes that an increase in testosterone will also build more muscle and increase strength. However, studies have shown that men performing weight training experience no increase in testosterone, strength, or muscle mass when they took D-aspartic acid as a supplement. One study found that when men took D-aspartic acid and weight trained for 28 days, basically 4 weeks, they experienced 2.9 pounds of increase in lean mass, which is great. However, those in the placebo group experienced the same at 3 pounds. Basically, they got the same result. What's more, both groups experienced similar increase in muscle strength. Thus, the D-aspartic acid didn't work any better than the placebo in the study, the guys who didn't take it. And a longer 3-month study also found that men who exercise experienced the same increase in muscle mass and strength regardless of whether they took D-aspartic acid or a placebo. So my summary on the weight training, the bottom line is that D-aspartic acid does not appear to improve muscle size or strength gains. Now, let's talk about the dosage and the results. Now, most studies, the recommended dosage for D-aspartic acid is about 3 grams daily. That's 3,000 milligrams. Unfortunately, this appears to work in some men and not in others. Mainly, it works in people who do not exercise. However, it does seem to help with sperm mobility and production. Now, this is good for guys who are trying to have a baby and increase their fertility. This part seems to have the most positive results, and the dose is 3 grams for 90 days. Also, if you do want to try D-aspartic acid, use the powder form, not the pills or capsules. It's much less expensive, and below in the description area, I posted a link to Amazon. For one, that's a really good price, since they're all the same form. Doesn't really matter. You can just go based on price. Now, the problem with testosterone boosters, here it is. As I've stated in the past, you can't simply increase your testosterone levels and expect it to stay that way. This is because your body has checks and balances. It wants to protect itself. For example, increasing your testosterone level is a good start. But you also, and more importantly, want to increase your free testosterone levels at the same time. This is done, for example, by lowering sex hormone binding globulin. But with these supplements, your body, quickly adapts, and the testosterone boost is temporary, and soon it drops again because their only goal is to boost testosterone. Additionally, the older you are, the most of the testosterone converts to what I call anti-testosterone hormones, such as estrogen, the man boobs and so forth, prolactin, which decreases sex drive, and DHT, which is that whole hair loss, body hair hormone, as well as adrenal and stress hormones. Your body converts more of these junky hormones, therefore lowering testosterone levels. Again, the end result is a temporary boost in testosterone, which again, roughly stops around the 2-week mark when your body adjusts and adapts, and now you have low testosterone again. But this time it's even worse. You have higher negative hormones. Again, the estrogen, the DHT, the adrenal and stress hormones. Now, because my background is in endocrinology, which is a study of hormones, I understand and know about all this. This is why Alpha Viral, when I formulated, works so well. I've addressed all of these issues and blocking all these negative hormones so your testosterone goes up and stays up, while these negative hormones go back down to lower normal levels, and thus you have the levels of a youthful young man at his prime. And that's the goal. Anyway, again, if you want to give D-aspartic acid, go ahead. Give it a try and see how you feel. Ultimately, you have to be the judge of that. My suggestion is take 3 grams about an hour before your workouts, only about 3 or 4 times a week. This is enough to prevent adaptation, right? And then you can see how you feel and look over the next few weeks and months. Of course, I still highly suggest you give Alpha Viral a try if you haven't already. Again, it's so effective that it comes with a 1-year guarantee. In fact, if it doesn't help improve your hormones and testosterone levels, at the end of 30 days, you get a full refund plus an additional $100 cash back on top of it. Now, I can make such a crazy guarantee because I'm not stupid, because I have over 20 years of proven clinical data and real feedback from thousands of users. And no, I'm not honestly trying to sell you a product. It's up to you whether you want to try it. I'm just trying to offer you a proven solution that has worked for thousands of men around the world, including, most importantly, myself. I'm the original reason I formulated Alpha Viral. It was for me, and I've continued to take it and use it on and off for 2 decades. Anyway, scroll down below, description area, click the links, and take advantage of this week's discounts. And again, if you want to try D-aspartic acid, I've got a link for that to Amazon as well. Thanks for listening, and have a happy and healthy day.